This episode of Out of Spec Reviews is brought to you by Magna. More on that later. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. Welcome to some happy doggos. We are here in the Yukon Territory on our way home from Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. If you take a look down the side, this is our 2022 Winnebago Revel. We've made a few ownership updates on this. We're rolling up on a year. We got a full video to come on that. We've made some modifications such as the new Nokian tire. These are the Outpost AT tires. Super impressive tire, by the way. Love these. Different wheels, owl racks on the back. We're not here to talk about the van. What we are here to talk about, though, is Starlink. Come around on this side because we are one of the very lucky few who have a Starlink for RV. And this, I ordered it 1 minute after it launched. I was just so lucky to be online. In this video, we're gonna unbox it, set it up, and see how it works. We're actually at a pretty high latitude right now where I think it may not work where we are today, but at least tomorrow it will. We'll give it a go. We'll give it a go, and looking forward to seeing what Starlink for RV is all about. It's going to transform our travel lifestyle in the Revel and in other adventure vehicles. So some of you who follow me on Twitter, which I highly recommend you don't, it's just weird car stuff, know we've been on this crazy adventure into Alaska and going all the way into the Arctic Circle. And it was all in preparation, actually, to figure out how we can do this in an electric car in just a few months. And I think we have a pretty good plan worked out, which is we don't know how we're going to do it. But we'll figure it out. I got some ideas. That's not the point of the video, though. The point of the video is we're here in the Yukon Territory and we have a Starlink. How the heck did we get a Starlink up here? Well, I ordered it and sent it to our house in Colorado. My colleague Zach, who you guys know from this channel, overnighted it up to Fairbanks, Alaska for us, which I don't even want to tell you how much that cost. That was ridiculous. And now we have a Starlink. It probably doesn't work here because we're at really high latitude. But I guess before we open it, let me just give you a brief explanation as to how this works. Essentially, there's three components of Starlink. There's a ground station, there's a satellite that's up in the sky, and there's the receiver transmitter station, which is this right here. And forgive me if I'm getting the terminology wrong. I'm learning. I want to cover more Starlink. I actually want to visit some ground stations. And the way ground stations work is that's what gets the internet up to the sky. Essentially, there's these, domes, satellite domes of some kind that are near a major fiber optic cable, potentially a data center where they have crazy high-speed data at big bandwidth. That data then gets sent up to a satellite. There's a whole net of them going around in the sky and they're launching more constantly, which then gets sent down right here to our Starlink wherever we are. Now, coverage areas will increase and service areas will increase, but that's the very basic form of how this works. The unit itself, I want to say, was $680, something like that. And I think we are going to pay $130 a month. I'm not sure if there's a data cap. I don't believe there is. And the only speed caps will be in areas of heavy congestion. But where we are, there's no congestion. So we'll see how that goes into the future. Anyway, opening the box, come on in. We get an X, the SpaceX logo right here. Of course, SpaceX is responsible for Starlink. No secret, we're Tesla fans in the house, fan of different companies that Elon is a part of. And I gotta say, this is my first SpaceX product and looking forward to open it. Never got one of those flamethrower things. And there's nothing in there. What the heck? What the heck? Ah, there we go. Wow, that is a big receiver. This is a much bigger box than I would have expected personally. So let's see, we can pull the base out, which has a little bit of plastic stuff going on. So this is the base that we leave outside, and I guess they have little holes so we can actually screw it down into, which is really nice. I genuinely haven't done any research, so forgive me for this. Then we have a little schematics. That's great. If that's the user manual, that's all we have to do. That's nice. Look at that. That is sick. Okay, so let's throw this underneath here. Then we have this this cable, of course, which we're going to have to do something. I guess this is what we run inside the van. So I am going to just kind of Hold that in position there very lightly. Let's not knock into it, Blue or Ellie. We then have, looks like a router. Yeah, take a look. We got a HDMI plug. No, some kind of plug there and a power port here. And then this has like this crazy cool orbital looking thing on it. So here's the power cable. It's meant for RVs. We have lithium ion battery packs in here with a 2000 watt inverter, maybe 2500 watt inverter. So we have, over 2 kilowatts of power that we can use. This probably won't use anything. And then there's just a crazy user manual situation in here, which we're not going to look at. So that's the box, really simple. This is the largest component of the box, and it appears as if we have to manually tilt it. I don't know. We'll play around with it. Let me get this plugged in. We'll see if we can connect to it, get some instructions going, and I'll let you know how it goes along the way. You join me back at the office with these incredible views to thank Magna. Now, Magna is a technology company that produces not only parts for cars, but also technological solutions from manufacturing and design and engineering. They cover so many parts of the automotive sector, and I bet you've interacted with a Magna product in your life before. Magna actually is very near and dear to my heart because their partnership, Magna Steyr in Austria, produced my first car, a Mini Countryman, and it was built right there in Graz. A lot of you are also familiar. Magna's going to be producing the Fisker Ocean in their Magna Steyr factory, and they also build G-Wagons, and nothing gets tougher than a G. So really excited about our partnership with Magna, of course. They are also hiring for engineers, so we know a lot of you guys are super interested in technology and automotive. I'll leave a link below so you can learn more about possible opportunities at Magna, but of course we want to thank them for sponsoring today's video and being such a huge supporter of Out of Spec. Truly, they are pushing mobility forwards responsibly and sustainably. So I'm really excited to have Starlink on our van, not because we got this, well, we did get this to get away into nature, but unfortunately the life of a YouTuber is we got to film, we have to upload videos for you guys, and it's sort of a constant thing that we always need to be connected no matter where we are. And so this is going to allow us to enjoy nature more, but still being able to work remotely to film more interesting videos. So look at this. Did you see that? That was crazy. It's making noises and flipping around. All I did was I followed the instructions. I put this on the stand, I plugged this into a wall outlet, literally just the power cable, and then I plugged this into here. It was super simple, just plugged. And then this just moved around. That was crazy. I had no idea that was powered. Shows you I'm a Starlink newbie. I also want to make just one more comment. I know we typically cover cars on this channel, but I feel like in order to enjoy a new segment of vehicles, adventure vehicles, off-roading, getting out into the wilderness, that's a big part of what we cover. This can enable it for more people who work from home, and therefore I think it should be a big part of what we cover. Okay, so it said connect it up, do that whole thing, and then connect to Wi-Fi. I wonder, because this thing moved, if that means it's actually going to work here. We're pretty much at the same latitude as Anchorage. So I'm going to go here to my phone. I'm going to go to Wi-Fi. And then I have the Sprinters, what you might call it, hotspot, and Starlink. Whoa! So loading up Starlink right here. This is truly stellar. The dogs are going crazy. Sorry, they've been trapped in the van. And then take a look at this. Enter Wi-Fi network name. Let's do Out of Spec. Out of Spec Starlink. And enter Wi-Fi password. What do you think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Oh, could not internet connection. Okay, so we may not actually be connected. Maybe my phone was just loading something else. Let's do one last trial. Yeah, so no connection here, but I think that's all there is to set it up. We pay a monthly bill, which is just charged to my credit card. It happened when I set it up. Use the same card I went to set it up. And there you go. You plug it in, you set this thing, and you go. So you'll join us down the road a little bit more, maybe tomorrow night or the day after when we get to a latitude where this can work, and then we'll try out Starlink for the first time. I don't think I've ever done an out-of-spec review from bed, but I left the Starlink outside. I sort of put it in an open area and brought it the router inside here, downloaded the Starlink app with my little tiny bar of service. It took forever. It's 1:30 in the morning, and now it's searching for signal, and it popped up briefly online. I don't know if it was just a glitch or not, but I'm going to let it search. It's going to do its thing out there. Super easy. Just downloaded the Starlink app, hit start, connected it to Wi-Fi, to the Starlink Wi-Fi, and now it's doing its thing. Really slick app. I like it quite a bit. It says, gives me different things on statistics, all this stuff. I will say though, like, most of the settings seem to be geared towards not RV use. It's like your one-time use stuff. So you can see like stow Starlink and factory reset, and I don't know, definitely interesting. Ooh, you can even preheat it. How about that? Snow melt configuration. That's amazing. You have to heat this damn thing. All right, well, I figured I would just let you know. I'm going to let it play around with tonight. I'll update you in the morning with how this goes. This is probably not going to work this high up, but because it's searching still, but just super duper neat. When I hit visibility, yeah, it says it takes about 12 hours to find a spot, which I don't think is going to work for RV style. I think you're just going to have to plug that thing in and go, but we'll see how this goes. Well, folks, you joined me a couple days later at a rest stop in Alberta, Canada, with my Starlink out there in front. I'm actually about to go mount it to the roof. By mounting, I mean just placing it. No wind tonight, so it'll stay up there just fine. And just because we're staying at one of these public rest areas, nice thing about van life, park anywhere, go to sleep. Look, it's moving all around looking for satellites. We can throw it up on the roof. However, I do want to show you we are online, folks, ready to rock and roll. And so really loving this. I'm going to pull up the speed test app here, and let's take a look as to what we're getting. Boom. Now, we do have to mention there's a couple things here. The first that it's looking for is latency, 74 milliseconds, but holy smokes, over 100 megabits per second download. Look, we only got 2 bars of little 3G up here, and as the satellites move around, it'll be a little bit different. But there's a couple things, 3 major things I'm looking for here. Well, let's take a look at the upload. Honestly, not bad, livable, but I assume, we're not in the best position for this. The first is latency. Starlink runs their satellites at about 550 kilometers, I believe, out of Earth's orbit, which is really close. You could have satellites that go really far away. So the nice thing about them being close and then having ground stations that have really high connection fiber rates is latency should be really low for a satellite-based system. Probably good enough for gaming, depending on your location. I don't game, so latency is not a big deal to me, but to a lot of you it is. The second is download speed. We just saw a massive peak, well over 100 megabits per second, which is awesome. And then upload is my thing, right? We make YouTube videos. This video will be uploaded through a Starlink somewhere on our trip. And yeah, just that's the big one for me. So we need to get the positioning right. We are sort of in a worst case scenario right now because we've kind of been pulling over trying to figure out the first place we can use this in, and we're at about the most northern edge capable of Starlink working, and even then we got over 100 megabits per second download. Forgive me if I sound way too excited, but this is genuinely life-changing. We're able to throw this in the back of an electric truck or throw it in the van and go out into the middle of wilderness, which I really am just so thrilled and thankful. I might order a second one just to keep in a couple different vehicles. So in terms of mounting this, I think we need to get a box to enclose it to kind of protect it from the wind and keep it on the roof of this all time. I think that's probably the best solution. Other than that, if you have any ideas, let me know, but we're online. This video will be uploaded through a Starlink. If you want to learn more about how this all works, let me know, but I thought I would bring this fun video to you of us driving around everywhere looking to get our Starlink to work. I'll say the setup process, like you saw, was super easy. We plugged the Starlink into the router into the plug. Literally all we had to do, started working. We have internet. It just went online. This is the Starlink app. Couple things I can do in here, just so you know. I can see the visibility, so I can actually go with, I guess after about 12 hours, it'll tell me where there are obstructions. Where it is right now, the van is probably an obstruction, which is why I'm gonna throw it up on the roof. The range would be like where our Wi-Fi router would reach to, but this is a little van, so like it's going to get everywhere. And then it'll do speed tests. It'll do 3 different ones. It'll do one of my phone's connection right here. Oh, we're up to 5G now. My phone's connection, then the Starlink's connection, and then my connection to the Starlink router, which of course could always be a limiting factor, but in a close environment like this, no big deal. It'll give me a whole bunch of statistics here in the app, which I'm really loving. And come on, baby, let's go. Oh, I'm not connected to Wi-Fi right now. Whoopsies. And it did that so I could run the speed test. Anyway, it'll tell me what's uptime, what's downtime. I'll do a deep dive on this once I've spent, you know, a week or two using this system, and we'll go into everything, the nitty gritty. But I just thought it's a fun little quick video, not necessarily a car, but Starlink will enable us to spend more time out and about in our adventure vehicles, out on the trail, and maybe even just at home. But Starlink for RV seems to be unchanged from normal Starlink. I think it's the same thing. It's just my plan allows for more travel. And with that said, thanks for watching another Out of Spec Reviews video. Trucks are going around here. I'm just so glad that this worked. This genuinely, we're right on the outer edge of this working. And we'll see you on the next video soon. Bye-bye.